So how much does it cost to start DJing? Well, it depends on how much stuff you got to begin with. Let's look at all the different equipment that you need just to get started.
Oh, yeah. Yo.
Hey, a laptop. All right, so the first thing you need is a laptop. There's different ways to DJ. You don't need a laptop, but the easiest and cheapest way to DJ is through a laptop, because otherwise you're buying vinyls. Anyway, you need a laptop. You need a pretty beefy laptop to be able to analyze your songs in Serato. Otherwise it's gonna take forever. If you have a desktop at home, you could analyze them on your desktop. But let's say you don't have a laptop. What should you buy? I don't know, something with an i7 at least. I don't know if I'd go i9 in a laptop because it's hard to cool that, but you know, definitely at least an i7. i5 is just, it's clunky. At least 8 gigs of RAM. I would recommend 16 because clunky. You're talking about a couple $1,000 laptop, but you could probably find one used like I did. I probably spent like $200-300 on this laptop, and you know, a few $100s more to put an SSD in it and more RAM and so on. So let's say $500-600. You need an external storage device for your library of music. That's gonna be $100, so you're up to $700 now. Let's keep a ticker up there. After that, you need a library of music. That's expensive. That's the most expensive part. Some DJs use Spotify. That's not exactly legal, but I know a lot of DJs that use Spotify. They download it on their laptop. It takes up a ton of space on their laptop, so you're gonna have to spring for a lot of storage on your laptop if you're gonna download all of Spotify onto your laptop, because you're gonna go to those events that are out in the middle of nowhere. Then you can't DJ using like Serato or virtual DJ through Spotify. You might be able to. I'm not sure about that. I've never tried it. You won't be very successful if you have to go out to a venue that's in the middle of nowhere that you don't have cell phone service, and plus you have to pay extra with your carrier to be able to use your cell phone as a modem for your computer, and you're gonna use a ton of data. So that's iffy. So you need a library of music. That's gonna cost you some money. You know, $100 a month, maybe more. So what do you do for speakers? K12 is gonna be $850, but Guitar Center actually rents out K12s for like $80 a night. And you can get like tripods and a subwoofer if you want for extra money. And I mean, $80 for a night, you could afford that. If you're charging your client a reasonable amount of money, you could afford $80. You know, you're starting out DJing. Let's put $80 up there for the speaker rental. Eventually you're gonna wanna buy your own speakers. You can probably get some EVs, the ZLX line, for $300 a piece, so that's $600. But we're talking about starting out DJing. So once you get that all ironed out, you need cables. XLR cables are like $10 a piece. You need at least 3 of them, so there's $30. Power cables. You need to bring with you 50 feet of power cables. And you also need to bring with you a 6-way box with a surge protector. You need those 2 things. 50-foot cable, you're gonna spend, you know, $50 on that cable. You're gonna spend $40 on a good surge protector. Furman's a good brand, Livewire is a good brand. The next thing you need is a couple cables to go to your speakers. You know, those are gonna be like 15-foot long, you know, 10-foot long. Depending on how long the cable from your speaker down to the floor is, you're gonna spend about $10 on those. 2 of those cables are gonna be, you know, $20. Maybe a table to set your DJ equipment on, or you could ask your clients to provide you a table, that's fine. Maybe a tablecloth to make your rig look clean. Get the client to provide that, okay, so we don't need that right away. You need a microphone. 1 second, let me grab a microphone. Digital Reference. This is just like an SM58, but it's from Digital Reference. It's a DRVX1, and this you can get for $15 pretty easy. Sure, PG58. Crappy microphone, not as good as the Digital Reference, but it has the Shure name on it, so it's more expensive. You can get this for like 30 or 40 bucks. SM58, You can get this for 110 bucks. So you can pretty easily plan on like 30 bucks for a microphone, somewhere in there. 30, 40 bucks. Digital reference, you generally have to buy 3 of them together to get them for 15 bucks a piece. Hopefully you have some DJ friends or somebody that wants some extra microphones that'll go in on it with you. Digital reference is a strong recommendation for me. It's not my daily carry. I use a Super 55 because I just like that retro look. But I love the digital reference as far as price to performance. You don't need dance lights to start DJing, but that would be the next step. We're gonna exclude dance lights. You can get them pretty cheap on Amazon. I think I paid like 20 bucks per light. Good enough. The nicer lights don't need to get beat up unless the client actually wants them. Oh, the controller, duh. Okay, so you can get controllers real cheap. What I would recommend doing is getting like a $60 mixer at first and plugging your laptop into that, and then from that you can go to the speakers. Eventually you want to get a controller, but they're more expensive. So let's say 60 bucks, like a little Yamaha MG6 or something. So let's add all that up. Let's say $600 for the laptop, $100 for an external hard drive, $100 for a music library, 80 to 100 bucks for a speaker rental, 50 bucks for some power cable, another 40 bucks for a 6-way box, another 20 bucks. Go from underneath your stand to underneath your tripod. For the cables that go from the 6-way box out to the speakers, 30 bucks worth of XLR cables. That comes to $1,100 just to start out DJing. And you don't even own your own speakers at that point. You need tripods, you probably have to rent those. Man, $1,100 to start DJing. What I did is I joined a multi-op. They give you an opportunity to start DJing. Even if you don't want to stay with the multi-op for your entire life, they give you a great opportunity to start DJing. They'll get you on a payment plan to start paying off your gear, and you can start paying off your gear with the gigs that they book you because you don't have your own website yet. You can't afford your own website. We didn't include a website cost in the calculation. So a multi-op is a great opportunity because it's $1,100. Let's say you have the laptop already. It's only 500 bucks to start DJing. Let's say you have the music library and the external hard drive already. It's only 300 bucks to start DJing. That's sounding more reasonable. But if you don't have those things, it's really hard to get started. And to be able to jump into a multi-op, I can buy gear at discounted rates. I can buy used gear. I can't afford new stuff. I work with other DJs personally that are always upgrading because they have the money, they have the gigs, they have the opportunity to get better gear, and that good gear that they haven't worn out yet can go to the next person in line. And for me to have that opportunity, it was invaluable. I really suggest a multi-op. $1,100 is really hard to just get enough to start DJing. I don't know of a cheaper way to start DJing unless you just have some parents that can throw $1,100 at you, or if you can get a personal loan or a credit card. I would highly, credit card, I do not suggest a credit card. I wasn't able to do it on my own. So a multi-op, it's a great way to get started. So I hope this helped you. If it didn't and you hate me for the suggestions that I gave you, leave a comment down below that says how crappy I am at suggestions and you could totally get it cheaper and blah, blah, blah. But man, this is my experience and that's what I'm sharing with you. I wanted to make it kind of clear what you need to get started. I was hoping that I would offer something for you to use in your budgeting. I'm gonna head out. See ya. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.